been?
Where did you dig up that old fossil?
Going into Toshi Station to pick up some power converters.
That's no move.
We're all fine here now, thank you. How are you?
Welcome to the Star Wars Nerds Podcast. I'm Dan Vadabonker.
And I'm Kenton Larson.
And Kenton, we're going to talk about the Star Wars news that came out of the San Diego Comic-Con, which just ended last weekend. But first, I just want to let you know how I like to watch the old TV shows and the stuff, the retro stuff from the 70s and 80s. I've been recently started watching the classic Battlestar Galactica episodes, which I really, for the first time in my adult life and the first time ever, because when I watched it as a kid, it was reruns and I was never really paying attention to stuff. I just liked the spaceships and lasers. But tell me, I just wanted to know, did you watch Battlestar Galactica as a kid, as a fan of Star Wars in the 70s? This is something that was aimed squarely at you.
Yeah, I did.
Yeah?
Yes, I watched every episode, and I even watched the reboot Galactica 1985, which was I remember being amazing. I was amazed. They find Earth. Oh my God, this is gold. And then I watched recently, I saw on YouTube, they had the first episode where they find Earth. Ooh, it's bad. It's very bad, actually. Very, very, very bad. And then I watched a good chunk of the newer Battlestar Galactica, the one that people, younger people might be more familiar with.
Yeah, that was a very popular, and everyone raved about it. I didn't really watch much of that one either. And I have to say, I think it's because I felt like there was Star Wars, and then there were all the other things that tried to copy Star Wars, right? And so it wasn't Star Wars, so I didn't really like it. Although I had lots of Battlestar Galactica toys as a kid, and I used to play with them alongside my Star Wars toys because they were like interchangeable kind of. And I just, but I see it as just I was kind of trying to capitalize on the huge popularity of Star Wars. Everything was at the time, right? This is what rebooted Star Trek and got Star Trek in the theaters at that point. But watching this now as an adult, I really kind of have to admire what they were trying to do with this show. Have you watched it as an adult since
I watched that first episode of Galactica 1985.
The real series, the first series.
Well, I mean, it basically is. It's the same. Okay. It's the same actors, and they thwart. It's basically Chips. They're being chased by Chips, California Highway Patrol, and then they fly into the air. Very poor special effects. And then the Highway Patrol is like, "Are you gonna report this?" Like the oldest joke in the book. Yeah. Like, no, are you gonna report this? Like, wah. So I watched that, and I watched isolated scenes.
Okay.
From Battlestar Galactica. And I actually saw Battlestar Galactica in the movie theater, the very first episode.
Right, they released it as a film. Yeah, that's true. Well, I would say that watching it now, I do have to appreciate, they were obviously capitalizing on the popularity of Star Wars, but they did try to make it its own thing. Certain differences, I think I do appreciate trying to alter the language a little bit and say things like frack and Felger carb. The swears are fun. And I like of course, you've got the old school Cylons who are just guys in a tin suit or probably plastic suit, but it's spray painted with chrome paint. I love that part because these guys, the way they die sometimes is hilarious when they get shot with the lasers. And I really love the guys who are above, so that there's the Cylons, and then there's the guys above the Cylons who have kind of these weird heads, and they're supposed to be another form of robot. I mean, you can see their heads, and they've got a cone head kind of thing in the brain, and they are all following a human who's been put in charge. It's evil human. I don't remember his name off the top of my head, but he's kind of the bad guy, right? The overall bad guy.
I think people forgot this. That guy was killed in the movie, and then they reshot it for when they aired that as the first episode of the TV show. They changed it, so the scene where he gets hit in the stomach with a sword, they have them go, "Spare him," so he can be the villain on our show.
Okay.
So they retconned it. I remember that.
Right.
And so and I think that guy's a Canadian actor. I think he's Canadian. I don't remember his name, but
I'll put a link to him in the show notes.
He was in something Canadian. I know that.
Well, of course, while we talk about Canadian actors, you can't not talk about Lauren Green, starring Lauren Green, Canadian treasure Lauren Green. He is awesome, and I got to say, I really do enjoy Richard Hatch and Dirk Benedict. I'm getting a bit of Dirk Benedict overload because I've also been watching A-Team as well.
Oh, sure.
those guys are fun. Like they've got a good dialogue back and forth. I like the world they're building, and every episode it is a bit formulaic. It is kind of like Star Trek, where they go to a different planet, they've got a different set of people, a different set of rules, and some of it is kind of like turning a whatever on society, but it's not as well thought out as Star Trek, I think, in a lot of ways. Some days, like they've got like I like the regular or helmets they have kind of this Egyptian look, because the idea is that these are the people that the Egyptians were descended from, right? There's a whole theory about how aliens came to our planet, and that's the ancient aliens thing. So there's a lot of Egyptian stuff and ancient Aztec stuff in the design of Battlestar Galactica. But then in the next scene, when Starbuck has to fly a special plane or special fighter, he's just got a regular hockey helmet that's spray painted gold, and that's it. Like there was things like that in the show that were also pretty funny. So it's a good show. I'm having a lot of fun watching Battlestar Galactica.
No, I there was no doubt in anyone's mind that it was inferior to Star Wars. We all knew it. George Lucas apparently hated it because because I think it did confuse people. I think like it was so rare to have a sci-fi movie back then that people did think, and the poster mimics Star Wars, and I think people thought this is by the makers of Star Wars. This is or a sequel to Star Wars. It almost seemed like it could be. And the toys were pretty good. I remember everybody really liking those toys when they came out. So that was pretty good. But I never heard anybody, there was no debate about what's better because everyone knew what was better. Right. It wasn't like the Star Trek, Star Wars debate.
No, right. And also maybe because of the way it rolled out on television and never really had a place in the theater, right? They're just the one movie or TV episode basically released, and it was kind of a marketing tactic. They did that quite often, I think, at the time. It was like, get the TV show, get people watching it in the theater, and then they'll be more likely to tune in when it actually comes on the air. But yeah, it was never really in theaters. The reboot, I think, was pretty low. It was like it flew under the radar when that happened. Like, sure, I had friends who watched it and talked about it, but I don't think it got a ton of Emmys or anything like that. I don't think it was widely recognized as this great TV show. It was just a sci-fi series that really was interesting, right? And so people really got into it.
It was hard to see it. It was hard to find it.
Right.
That was the beginning of a billion channels, and it was on the Sci-Fi Channel at midnight. Like it was that kind of thing. So people who watched it really liked it. I mean, I think I bought the DVDs at first, and I remember thinking, like, this is passable. Like this, once again, I didn't think, wow, this knocks my. It wasn't like Andor or something.
Yeah.
Where it just knocks you back. Like, what is? It was more like this is okay. This is like doesn't ask too much from you. It's pretty entertaining. It's interesting to see how they reboot some of the stuff.
Yeah, and I'm gonna watch it. So after I finish this first series, I'm gonna go and watch the rebooted series, and compare the two, and I'll let you know how it is.
Yeah.
Okay, so let's talk about Star Wars news. We've got George Lucas, and now I think people are making a bigger deal out of this than it needs to be. George Lucas makes his first appearance at San Diego Comic-Con, reveals Star Wars and Marvel items headed to his museum. Now, this is apparently his first ever appearance at San Diego Comic-Con. And Kenton, you're shrugging like, okay, sure. Like people are making a big deal. Like he's never wanted to appear there, but I think that's just a symptom of he was never really making movies when this was a thing, right? Like he kind of has been retired since this became a big thing of going to San Diego to promote your movie. Like if this had happened back when he was doing the Clone Wars, he probably would have been there.
Did they have one? Who even knows?
I'm sure not during the initial prequel trilogies. I'm sure that this kind of stuff was not happening at San Diego. San Diego Comic-Con was happening, but it was more comics focused back then. They were not doing big Hollywood reveals like this. But this was actually this is about what he's been doing in retirement. He's opening a museum in Los Angeles, the Lucas Museum of Narrative Art, which is going to be, I kind of want to go check it out. It sounds like a really cool place. Basically a movie museum from what it looks like to me. As far as it's going to be full of movie props and the history of film and all kinds of stuff like that, right?
Well, he said, I think he made some allusions to art, like people don't think comic books are art. And so this is showing how maybe art, maybe storyboards. Doug Chang was there with him, I saw.
Yeah, Doug Chang and Queen Latifah was there. So there's some kind of music.
That was kind of weird. I don't know. I just thought, what was she doing there?
We've become very involved in the arts community. I think this is all about the arts community, and these are people who have become kind of passionate about the arts and want to see it thrive. And I think George Lucas has always been that way. He's also doing something like this in San Francisco, isn't he? With the Presidio area, or he's been just helping keep that green or something. I don't know. He's doing stuff there too.
Well, he was pitching that museum that was gonna be in Chicago. Is this the same one? I don't know. And then
maybe it is, right?
City planning department gave him such a hard time, he pulled the plug.
Yeah, maybe it was easier.
Yeah, I think it was something like that. But I'm sure if he wanted to build a giant museum in Winnipeg, they'd roll out the red carpet. It'd be like, come on in.
No, Los Angeles makes sense. It's where they make movies.
Pablo's from here. That's why you would do it here. But,
so what they revealed in this panel is that there are going to be some props from the original. They've got Luke's land speeder from the first Star Wars film. So I guess the life-size prop that's from the film. That's pretty cool. In addition to that, that's the only one from the original film. The other props are from General Grievous's TSMEU 6 wheel bike. I don't really remember even what that looks like. Was that even in the movie? Did General Grievous ever get?
Jumps on all he does is run away, as we know. So
is this what he takes between the fight with Anakin to his little ship, and then he jumps into his ship and runs away?
When Obi-Wan Kenobi.
Obi-Wan, yeah.
Yeah. Where is he then? Is he on Geonosis? I can't remember where he is.
No, it's not Geonosis. It's the other planet.
Yeah, it's that other one.
Anyway, anyway. Yeah, I don't think General Grievous is not. This is not the most exciting thing for me to see.
He runs away on this bike. He runs away in every movie, doesn't he? I think he tries to run away in every.
That's right. You're right. Yeah. So that's one of the things. Anakin's N1 started function from the Phantom Menace, and the speeder bikes from Return of the Jedi. Now I'm much more excited about the original trilogy stuff. The speeder bikes and the land speeder. It looks like maybe this is a vehicles thing, so maybe there's like a vehicles exhibit. And so maybe they'll open it up to have other types of props, I imagine. Like this is like the guy who's got all the Star Wars props, right? So he's going to be able to get whatever he wants in there. So I imagine this is going to be a fun museum to go check out. So if I ever go to Los Angeles, not going to happen anytime soon, but if I ever do, I will. I'll go check this place out for sure.
Oh, yeah, it's supposed to open next year, I think. Okay. After it was delayed, I think for years, I think. So yeah, that, I mean. Sounds great. I watched the beginning of that panel on YouTube, and George Lucas is his classic low-key self, where he comes out, everybody's like screaming and yelling, and he gives a half-hearted hug to Queen Latifah. He sits down, and he kind of like look quizzically at the crowd, and when he finally starts talking, it's just like, it's just. Yeah, start a museum. He doesn't do anything to try to get the crowd riled up or anything, like nothing. Like he's so, it's fun, it's comical. He's so low key. Like he doesn't feel the need, which makes me laugh.
Yeah, well, he's sitting next to Guillermo del Toro, who's like pretty gregarious, and he's like I'm an upbeat guy. And I'm just looking at this IGN article here, and it says del Toro spoke on the importance of comics. Yeah, comics is our part of this. Comics and art reminded us that comics were the first ones to punch Nazis, and the DC comics were the first ones to have a social conscience. And then he said touched about AI and using an app to make art. People say you can do art with an app, and I'm sorry, but you can't. It's the difference between eye candy and eye protein. Personality and emotion are what you need. I'm sorry, you can't. That can't happen in a fucking app. And he said fucking app. So like that's what I'm saying. Like he's a much more outspoken guy than George Lucas is. Mm-hmm. But yeah, I mean, it's a good thing that they're doing a museum. It's interesting to document this time in history. It's a very interesting time in media history, I think. So yeah.
I like the fact that George Lucas also looks the same. He hasn't really changed at all in the last 10 years. He's still,
pretty amazing. Honestly, it is pretty amazing where he's kind of like, people say the thing about Paul Rudd doesn't age. I don't think after a certain point, like George Lucas is kind of two versions of him. He's young, skinny George Lucas, and then older, a little more chubbier, but also like well-rounded George Lucas. And that's it. And then one's got dark hair and one's got gray hair, and there's no in between, and there's no older version, right? Sometimes you see celebrities and who have aged, and it's been, who is it I saw recently? There's somebody recently, maybe it was Mel Brooks, but Mel Brooks is almost 100, so you can give him cut him some slack, but it might have been Mel Brooks at almost 100 years old that shocked me a bit because he looks so old. But sometimes you see a celebrity after a while and it's like, oh, wow, they've aged. And he is not. Absolutely not.
No, I was actually surprised at how similar everything was. His demeanor, his look. It's it was again, it's funny. It's funny to watch the opening of that just because it's so low key.
Come check out my museum. I can't do George Lucas.
I can't either. Just do a deadpan. Do deadpan. Put zero energy or joy into your delivery.
Okay, the other Star Wars stuff happening. There was a Lucasfilm publishing panel, so I guess this is all about the books and comics and stuff they do for Star Wars. So they announced a bunch of stuff. They're ending the High Republic series for now, apparently. I didn't read any of those.
No, me either. I wasn't really interested in them. And wasn't the Acolyte High Republic?
Oh, maybe. I don't know. I don't know if that was based on that or not. I have no idea.
I think it was because there was that. You remember the bald green lady? I believe I saw a picture of her on one of the books. So I think there has to at least be an overlap. But after the Acolyte, who would go rushing to some literature?
Well, it's funny you say that because one of the figures released, or the new figures announced at San Diego, was an Acolyte Black Series figure. They're finally giving it to, I think of him as Jason from the Good Place. I'm watching The Good Place. Yeah. But that character, Khmer, is that his name?
The Stranger, yeah.
The Stranger is getting a figure. Now, he's probably one of the coolest looking figures in the show. But I don't think anybody's going to be like he might be a peg warmer. Like I don't know anybody's clamoring for this character.
He looks super cool. Like I'll give it that. That was a good design for that guy. So I think it could do okay. But I think the general feeling of that show is that that maybe that was one of the better parts of that show was him.
Mm-hmm. And then the several intriguing new 2-packs in the lineup. So a 2-pack, is this a new thing they're doing where they sell 2 figures in the same packaging? Have you seen this yet?
I don't think so.
Okay, maybe we'll start seeing that in Walmart and Toys R Us. But I imagine it's just a way to repurpose the characters that aren't quite as popular, right? Take some of those peg warmers and repackage them and put them in.
Don't put those twins from the Acolyte in a 2-pack because there's a peg warmer.
We've got Darth Sidious and Mace Windu together. I guess there was a fight. They did fight together. Yeah. Anakin Skywalker and Captain Rex, and Darth Vader and Luke Skywalker are the 3 new pairs.
Yeah, you don't really see this the Star Wars toys much anymore. You know, it's funny that it's like exclusive to Walmart or whatever. My Walmart Star Wars toy selection has been like non-existent. It's the same ones every week. And then weirdly enough, once in a while, a new one will show up, but it won't be anything super exciting. Like they just sit there. It's just they're really not moving, but they're also not really getting in new waves of selection. Now, I don't know if that's just the Walmart I go to or if that's all of them. And all the other things, what about GameStop and some of those places? I just don't go to those. Most of those closed.
Yeah, no, they did. Yeah.
So I can't speak to that either, but I just don't. And Toys R Us, there isn't one really close. So I'm out of the loop on it. Truth be told, I heard Toys R Us now has HMV in it in Canada.
Yeah, they do.
Have you seen that?
Yeah, I've been there. There is one by me, and I'll go check it. I could go vlog it if you want and show you what it's about. It is, and that's been like that for a while. They just didn't put the HMV signage in until recently. So I don't know if it was always HMV or if they just kind of put a brand on it, and that. But so they did. But they sell books, physical media, CDs, DVDs, Blu-rays, and they also sell kind of games, T-shirts, anything around pop culture media, that kind of stuff. It's kind of like a Spencer's Gifts without the adult toys. So it's like kind of a toy store, but you know, it's got that kind of stuff, and it's okay. Like I haven't actually, no, I did purchase. That's where I bought my Henry Winkler book. So when I bought my, I was there and I was on sales. I'm like, yeah, I'll pick that up. So it's just like any other bookstore. Though they would have the same selection you would see at a Kohl's or whatever. But yeah, they do have that there. I'll check out the Star Wars toys. I've not gone to see that, and I've not gone to the Walmart. Well, I go to Walmart, but I don't go into the toy section as much. The other toy news here, as far as Star Wars, is they, I guess this is the thing they do with Lego. They do the HasLab crowdfunding project. So they basically have people design projects to be released in Lego. So this is like a thing you can submit, like a thing. Let's have this created in Lego, and then if it gets a bunch of votes, and then people like it, they'll actually they give people the chance to buy it ahead of time. I believe, like you can crowdfund it like you can on Kickstarter, and then you buy it, and then they'll make it for you. And so the new one they're making is a Clone Wars gunship, from the vintage collection. So this is like the ships they fly around in your favorite movie, in your favorite prequel movie.
I love the gunship. I will say that. That's one of my favorite. I've got 3 gunships set up in my collectibles room. Because you can fill them with clone troopers and Jedis, and they look really good. And I actually have one from the Cartoon Network version of that, and it's still in the box. I never opened the box because it's I like the box so much. So there it is sitting there, and one day it'll be worth $1 million because I let it just sit there. But I love those gunships. I've always loved them. But Attack of the Clones is not my favorite film.
That's right. I was just joking. This one, if you want,
I do like it more than Phantom Menace, which I know most people don't. So there you go.
Do you do any Star Wars Lego, Kenton?
No, but my friend just sent me a picture of the Star Destroyer he bought, which is already 4 feet, and he's going to hang it from the ceiling. And I don't know, he made a shed of some kind, and so he's going to hang it there. And he just texted me a photo of it, and it's only like the skeleton of it.
Oh,
wow. He said I'll be finishing it next week. So he clearly loves it. I did one Lego thing in my life, and that was the Mandalorian's head. I have it set up like nearby here somewhere, but that's it. How about you?
Oh yeah, I've done lots of different Lego things. I have right here the pieces of the Anakin and Obi-Wan's battle on the platform, or on the little floating things on Mustafar or whatever. That there, and I've done some other stuff. This one is so this is a Lego set, this HasLab thing, and it's $450. So that's I can't even imagine what that Star Destroyer project what one would have cost. Probably like $1,000. But there you go. So that's the Star Wars toys being released. That was the announcement there.
Interesting.
And what else was here? Was there anything else for Star Wars? Let's see.
I didn't see anything. I saw non-Star Wars stuff out of Comic-Con, like the Peacemaker trailer for season 2, and so is South Park coming off of their
big deal
controversial episode, although hilarious episode. So that was kind of a little bit lucky timing wise. That's pretty good for Comic-Con.
I think good job when they released that. They know where their audience is.
Yeah.
No, the only other thing I actually wanted to talk about was that I noticed that they're now advertising. I haven't seen them in stores yet, but I see ads for it. Star Wars Coke cans. Have you seen these, Kenton?
I bought a case.
Did you really?
So yes, because there's no sugar. So it's like it's got my name all over it. And it had the Canadian flag on it, and I was like, that. So it must be bottled here. But of course, after I bought it, I was like, wait a second, this is like a major American corporation. Is this one? Are we boycotting this? But I just look at the little Canadian flag label. I'm like, it's all good, and I think it is bottled in Mississauga or something. I don't know. So I bought. So they have it all set up. They've got a QR code, and saying "Become your Jedi Knight." So I scanned it, and it's like 500 steps of hell, where it's like enter your birth date. So I started doing it in the store, and I was like, "Oh Christ, taking too much time." So then I got home and I finished the process, and it's got to scan your face. Finally, and then you hold it, and it looks like it's a hologram of you standing in the room, which sounds cool, but it is not cool because it's very far away. And I'm like vaguely going, oh, is that my face on it? Like I can't really see. So okay. So first of all, that wasn't good. Then the promise of the characters on the cans looks amazing. It looks like, oh my God, there's everybody. So I thought I was going to open up a case and it would be like every can would be a surprise. Would be like, oh, this is like, what's the next one going to be? Boba Fett. Now what's the next one? But no, I pulled I pulled the first can out. Princess Leia. Pulled the second can out. Princess Leia. Third can. Princess Leia.
Are you serious?
It is one character per case.
Fuck off.
I know.
That's bullshit. I agree. Bullshit.
Yes, I was so disappointed.
Like I could understand if they got a few more extra Princess Leia cans than other ones, but you gotta mix them up. That is complete bullshit.
Isn't it? I can't believe that they've got this big promotional push behind it, and it's like it's virtually nothing.
Why the push? What's the point? Like, why are they doing something with Star Wars right now? I don't understand that.
It's odd, hey? Well, probably that make your own hologram thing finally started working or something. I don't know. It's weird. Yeah, you're right though. Like, what is this coinciding with?
San Diego Comic-Con, maybe. Like, maybe. It's like, it looks okay. So one of the ads, and maybe I've only seen one ad, and it's a couple different versions of the same ad, but it's basically a bunch of people at a movie theater, and there's some kind of fight, and they have to do something to watch the movie. I don't remember the actual events of it, but it looks like a bunch of people cosplaying as Star Wars, basically. Yeah. So it looks like a fan gathering or fan screening of Star Wars, which I imagine is happening at times in places all around the world. But I don't know, it just seems like a strangely and oddly placed thing. This is not the first time they've done kind of a product tie-in. Like they had the Oreo stuff. Was it last summer they had the Oreos?
Yeah, I think it was
light side and dark side.
Yeah.
And that was the same thing, by the way. Those were like you got all light side and all dark side in the same batch, which I could kind of understand a bit more for Oreos, right? So it makes a little bit more sense. But when you're making these cans, there's no reason you can't mix up all the cans and then package them, right? There's no reason they can't do that.
But wasn't the dark side, light side a surprise? You didn't know what it was.
Well, you don't know until you open the package, but they're all the same. Like once you open the package, they're all either red or blue frosting. That was the thing.
Right. And so there was a bit of a surprise. And I guess there's still a bit of a surprise.
Because you don't know which one you get.
You don't know which one.
You could keep getting Princess Leia, though. Is that like what's going to be the hard one to get?
That's the most boring one. And it's the side of her head. It's not even a good. It's not even like it should be that action pose.
Yeah.
You know, with Carrie Fisher, the poses that they did to promote for the posters and stuff. It should have been one of those, I thought. But yeah, it was so disappointing. And even the QR code, I posted it online too. And I said something about, this I can barely get this to work. And I saw a couple people like it, but I don't know if anybody tried it. So you can share the QR code and you can try it for yourself, but it just is not that exciting. Like it should be better. Like it's a great idea because it even says when you're recording it, send your message out to the world. But I never got a chance to record anything. It's just like my face standing over in the corner.
Oh, is this supposed to be like Princess Leia's messages of help you'll be wrong? It's supposed to be like that. Okay. interesting.
It's supposed to be a
I'll try it out. I'll see if I can find something. I'm really curious to see if you can buy these in the wild, like as far as like single cans, because they don't generally sell cans like that anymore at stores. It's almost always bottles or a weirdly shaped can. They have a weirdly shaped one that's different for the single cans. So you probably won't be able to buy these just as a single, but I'll buy a case and we'll see what we get. And if I get a cool one, I'll probably buy nothing. Zero sugar. I'm okay with the zero sugar. I don't want to do regular Coke anymore. I'm really trying to cut down on that stuff. So, but I don't mind the zero sugar Coke. I can get used to it. The things like oddly timed is all I'm saying. The weird times of that.
I think there's ones with and without sugar. I was gonna hang on while we're talking about this. I've got this Sprite can.
Yeah.
Unopened, and there's also no liquid in it.
Oh wow!
I got this out of the case, out of a separate case. So I'm just batting 1,000 on these drinks.
Oh,
so wow. Like, what's going on? What's going on with the quality control at these places?
I saw a video once about the old bit about putting a mouse in those cans to get a free thing or whatever. And of course, this guy goes on and on about like these different things and basically saying that it can't ever happen in the modern way of the machinery, whatever. The mouse can't get in there the way they currently do it. And then he goes through the whole thing and does not mention Bob and Doug McKenzie. So I, of course, go to the comments and say, well, of course, everyone remembers Bob and Doug McKenzie trying And then somebody else had made the comment. That's something that happens on TikTok quite often, is that you go there to make a comment, someone else has already made it. He made a very good comment that made a reference to the Elsinore Brewery and all these strange brew references. I'm like, well done. And they gave it a like, and that was that.
Yeah, that's good. That's famous in Canada. That go get
the first
beer.
thing you think about is you got to put a mouse in the beer bottle to get a free case of.
Yeah, that was an urban myth before it was in that movie. That if you did that you would get free beer. Right.
But apparently it's still happening. There was the guy that did the video was like, this recently happened with Monster Energy drinks, and it's just like a frivolous lawsuit, people trying to get money out of these big companies. So whatever. Anyway, any other Star Wars stuff to talk about this week before we break?
This week I watched and sometimes just in the background, but I started getting recommended everybody talking about Andor. And which is always interesting, and it's universally beloved by fandom. So it's kind of it's sort of refreshing to have this like fresh, right off the presses, great Star Wars that everybody agrees is among their favorite. And so I've been watching some takes on it from different YouTubers, and just kind of sitting back and enjoying the fact that we got some good Star Wars, and I think I will watch Andor again. Oh, I hope before the end of the year. I'd like to watch it again, just because it's so good right from the beginning.
What I would say is maybe if we don't get Ahsoka at Christmas time, as you're predicting, maybe just watch that instead. Watch some Star Wars around Christmas time.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah, fun. We need something. So watching it again, I think, would be pretty good. But
I might rewatch the original trilogy or something around that time. I don't know. We'll see. I should tell you, I watched the Superman movie. I went to see the new Superman.
Oh, yeah.
In theaters. It's pretty good. It was fun. Yeah, it's about the same. Everyone's saying the same thing. It's a good movie. And I mean, yeah, it's a good movie.
Yeah, that's what everyone says. Good. And Fantastic Four seems like it's a little more than good, but not much more. I'm hearing almost the same thing. Like, it's fine. It's good.
And I don't trust anybody who comes, because I've experienced this myself. When you come out of the theater, you're like, I see people posting, it's so good, I loved it, and I did that too. But that, like, if it's like 2 days later and you still feel like you like it, then it's really good. Like, I wait and see, okay, yeah, this is good, and I think about the idea of the movie and what it did, and it does a lot of good stuff. The Superman movie does a lot of good stuff. It's like those Henry Cavill movies never even happened. Just forget about that stuff. Never mind. This is a whole new thing we're doing here, and so they seem to have good guy and James Gunn leading this whole thing, so we'll see where they go with this new DC movie and they're doing.
Once again, I'll ultimately see it when it's on TV, and I'll ultimately or whatever streaming, and I'll ultimately see Fantastic Four as well when it shows up on Disney Plus. And actually, to me, the most compelling review that I saw about Fantastic Four was that it's worth it just to see the cool design of that world. And I thought, like in the trailer, that really appeals to me. So I think, okay, that's good. That's, if I know that that's worth the price of admission, then I'm more interested in seeing it than if I'm just going to see something like when you hear that a superhero movie is fine or good, it's not super compelling because we have so many superhero movies. So I like hearing that there's a special reason why it's worth going to see.
Well, what I said is that it's the best one I've seen in a while. Best superhero movie I've seen, probably since the last like good Spider-Man movie.
That was a good movie.
Yeah, so it was kind of like that. It did give me a bit of those vibes as far as like good music and funny lines and lots of little details and stuff. So yeah, I think you'll like it.
Very good. You just reminded me of one of my guilty pleasures is that Flash movie.
Oh, I've still not seen that.
I actually like that movie. The one it just got ripped apart. People hate that movie, and I watched it and I was like, I found it to be fine entertainment. It's not my favorite movie of all time or anything. It's not even in the top 100 probably, but as a light piece of movie hero entertainment, I was absolutely fine with it. You got Michael Keaton in there. Come on. So that was probably the last one that I saw that I kind of enjoyed.
Okay.
Kind of enjoyed.
I kind of enjoyed Thunderbolts. That wasn't bad either. So, whatever. I think we're just done with superhero movies in general.
When Thunderbolts came out, all I heard was how shitty it was. But in the last week, I've heard a few people go, that one was actually pretty good.
In retrospect, it's actually pretty good. Yeah. All right,
Interesting.
we'll wrap it up. We'll talk about. Actually, I wanted to ask you next week. Can we talk about The Pit? I finished watching The Pit.
Oh yeah.
But I'd like to talk about that in more
Comedian
depth.
nerds.
Comedian nerds. Yeah, I thought we could talk about The Pit and this kind of trend of realistic, ultra realistic dramas like The Pit and The Bear are basically the ones that are like this, right? But yeah, I think this is really cool.
I loved The Pit. I loved watching that show, and I love talking about it. I don't know anyone else who's seen it other than me and you.
Well,
so
let's talk about it, and then maybe we can
Okay.
talk about who watched it. So okay, we'll do that next week on the Media Nerds. So that's gonna do for this episode of Star Wars Nerds. I'm Dan Dadebonker.
I'm Kenton Larson. Don't let the Force hit you in the ass.
Going into Toshi Station to pick up some power converters.
Now I am the master.
I'm taking an awful risk, mate.